What is going on? It is Wednesday. It's your boy Kenny. This is the Call Up Podcast, and we're back with another edition here, talking a little bit of news, talking some rumors, giving you updates on what has been going on in the wrestling world. Just getting back here. Have to flip this over. I was going live on Instagram as well. But thank you for coming on and checking out the show for a little bit. For those of you who are actually sitting here and listening to this right now, or watching this live on YouTube right now, getting into a little bit of rumors today. You have Kevin Owens rumors. You have Mick Foley coming out right now and just publicly stating what his frustrations are with WWE, as many people who have been frustrated with WWE as of late. We're going to get into a little bit of AEW news as far as like getting into All Out. I was there over the weekend to see All Out in person and just get that vibe of other AEW fans and what their feel for the pay-per-view or the weekend in all was. I have to imagine that it was a great weekend for pro wrestling and stuff, with having debuts from Bryan and Adam Cole and Ruby Soho. Tonight we have Dynamite, and I haven't been excited for to watch a show as much as right now that I am for Dynamite, because just to see exactly like what's going to happen. I know that CM Punk he's going to talk today. He's going to address the crowd as well. And so is Bryan, and obviously Adam Cole's most likely with Kenny Omega is going to come out and speak a little bit himself. Tyson's in the house. He's looking here on Instagram right now, but I'm also live on Facebook right now. If you guys want to tune in on Facebook right now, I just wanted to go live on Instagram just to let everybody know that where they can catch the show. The show has been growing the last couple of weeks, and I have to thank everybody who's actually supported the show and helped me build, the confidence enough to just sit here at times where I'm like just yapping to myself, letting people know about just what goes through my head each and every week. Shout outs to the Running Podcast who help me out on a daily basis. Tom and DJ Mike and Phil, who always are there to give me a quick kick in the ass whenever I need it. But yeah, we're definitely getting ready for Dynamite tonight. Like I said, I'm going to switch over here for people who are looking at the screen right now and see what we're going to get into. So we got Bryan addressing the AEW crowd tonight. We have CM Punk coming back to let us know how he's feeling throughout his match tonight. We're going to have women action. We have Ruby Soho taking on Jamie Hager here. And my man Carlos is in the house right now, live on Facebook, saying hi to everybody. What is going on, my friend? Sitting here right now, going over a little bit of AEW news. And now Tyson's over here on Facebook, letting everybody know. So it's actually working, of me saying to myself, let me go on Instagram and let people know that I am live on YouTube right now. And if you're looking at this right now through Instagram, by all means, head on over to the link in my bio on Instagram and follow along with us here on YouTube right now. We have Dustin Rhodes going up against Malachi Black. And we're going to have the Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Danny Martinez. I mean, this right here, this card right now is stacked. There's going to be so much action going on tonight. But I want to get into a little bit of the AEW, not AEW news, but at least NXT news. Last night, we saw the end of the Black and Gold brand for NXT. And we're going to move into a whole new era in NXT, as quote unquote, as they're saying. A lot of people are not happy with it. Fans are wondering what's going on. They're giving you a brand new logo, a brand new color. I don't really think that it needed to be changed in any way. Everybody loved the Black and Gold brand, but you can tell the frustration on a lot of the talent. A lot of them are leaving. A lot of them are getting released for no apparent reason at all. And then we're getting news that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are going to be taking over the Black and Gold brand. And we're kind of wondering exactly like what they're going to be doing, because a lot of people will speculate that Triple H is no longer going to be taking over NXT. But we did get reports that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard will be taking over the top talent of NXT, meaning like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, the NXT champion Samoa Joe, Raquel Gonzalez, and other top talent, while Triple H and Shawn Michaels will still be handling the lower talent, meaning like the newer people that are coming in and whoever else is there as far as like mid card when it comes to NXT. But not too many people are happy with this because there's so many changes going on. And Mick Foley, I don't know if anybody saw it. I mean, he's been making the rounds where he went to his personal Facebook page and he let out his frustrations, saying that, you know, WWE is in trouble at this point. They're kind of like sinking as far as like wondering like what is going to happen with this. People are leaving. People are necessarily scared as far as like they just don't know what WWE has in store for them. And Mick Foley was one of the advocates that said like, hey, like you guys need to sit there and really focus and worry because you have, you know, a company like AEW coming in and they're pretty much taking over at this point. And I know for a lot of us, we were saying to ourselves, like, what exactly is NXT going to do? And look what they're doing. They're building such a huge roster that you just don't know what they're going to do next. Tony Khan, you know, we used to make fun of him all the time saying that he was like the ultimate fanboy, but this fanboy is showing people what he can do. And I'm assuming that he's, you know, thinking like, okay, I need to make sure that I don't end up like ECW, WCW, and other companies that try to go up against WWE at the time or WWF and failed. And, you know, with the roster and the legends that they have in their arsenal right now, I don't see them changing at all. I don't see them failing. I see them just continue to grow. And now there's reports that Kevin Owens at the end of the year is going to leave, and man, that's just going to hurt them even more because Kevin Owens is such a loyal guy, you know, to the WWE and to Vince McMahon, that to lose that, it's just the same way like losing Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan on Sunday said that, you know, he loved working for WWE, but he needed more. WWE was holding him back way too much. Vince McMahon was trying to, you know, baby him way too much. And these are the things that was frustrating a lot of people, you know, throughout the course of time. And I'm being joined right now because I had a friend of mine. Hey,
Yo.
Soul is in the house.
What's going on, brother?
Running fashionably late. You know how New York people are. We tend to get here on time, but we end up being like 5 to 10 minutes late. It's New York time. That's what we do here. Man, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Just chilling. Had people come see the house and they wanted to take their sweet ass time and shit. So, you know, I wanted to be here at 7, believe me.
Nah, man, that's cool. I was just going over, just giving out my thoughts on NXT and just like the things that are going on with them nowadays, where you see, you know, a lot of talent leaving the company. Either they're getting let go or they're letting their contracts just you know, go up, and then they just kind of just wander off, and then they end up being like Adam Cole, where they end up on TV or in a pay-per-view the very next night.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like Mick Foley said in his video on Facebook, it's like he doesn't even know if he would come here if he was a rookie nowadays. It's almost feeling like WWE's a joke now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you know, I put up a picture of Adam Cole here for people who are you know, watching this. You know, this is a guy who said that he's been wanting to be in WWE since he was 9. Obviously, he accomplished a couple of things that he wanted to do here in the company, but now it was time for him to move on. But to me, I feel like, you know, one of the things that he said that really made him want to go to AEW was the fans. You know, I remember when WWE was here for WrestleMania a couple of years ago, and I got to speak to Adam Cole. That was one of the things that he told me that he loved about like TakeOver, were the fans that will come to the shows, and you don't really see that anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't help with COVID, but even with the fans coming back, like I was mentioning on my show, that I noticed that like on SummerSlam, a lot of people were there to see Goldberg and Cena.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't showing a lot of love to Adam Priest or the Viking Raiders or any, like, they gave a lot of love to Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair and, you know, of course, Becky Lynch and all that. But a lot of these guys that people should know because they're regular watchers, they weren't getting a lot of love in that crowd.
No, and it's crazy to me when these guys go like, you know, out of their way to entertain, but they're being held back. Like basically, like the way I got from the conversations that they were having, or they were just giving out to like the media that night, was like the things that they wanted to do, they couldn't do, so they were kind of held back. So that's why like the fans are not really into it the way they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And you know, and it definitely shows, because like if you look at past NXT takeovers or even shows, like it's not the same feel that it was before.
It isn't. Because I used to, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't a regular weekly watcher of NXT, but when the takeovers came on, I knew there was gonna be some magic. You know what I'm saying? And not like the takeovers now aren't magic, but back in the day, you know, it was like you didn't need to watch NXT to watch the takeover, because the way that the production of the whole thing, the way the matches went, the way they told the stories during the matches, it was phenomenal. Now it's becoming like WWE Light or like Raw Light or something. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you can definitely tell like there's a shift in it. And because before, like these guys used to go all out, like they were trying to get signed to WWE at one point, because like the highlight of any weekend when WWE had big pay-per-views was NXT. And now it kind of just like fell to the wayside a little bit, especially now with they're doing like tapings, and now with this new switch coming next week where we really don't even know you know, what to expect.
Yeah, that's true. How do you feel about that logo?
You know what? I don't like the logo at all, because it's just like, I know people make fun of it. Everybody had like their memes and they said it looks like in living color. It looks like something out of Nickelodeon. People put music to it, you know, and it kind of fit. Not I'm not even gonna front. Like it actually fits sometimes, like with Nickelodeon stuff, like the way they did it. But I'm not. I guess it has to grow on me a little bit, you know, because I'm so used to the black and gold brand of NXT, you know. So I don't know. You know, Tuesday is gonna come next week. We're gonna end up sitting here watching NXT and see what they bring to the table with this one. Like they have the talent that's there for the most part, whoever's left. And now I was just kind of wondering, like, what are they going to do? How are they going to structure this? You know?
No, I hear you, bro. And that's the craziest thing. It's like we sit here and talk about how AEW's winning with All Out and the way they do their wrestling on Dynamite and Rampage and all that. But the WWE has mega talent in NXT, in Raw, in SmackDown. It's just for some reason they're not using them to their full potential.
And I, you know what? And I just don't get it. Like, what's the point? Like, you guys have like the top tier of talent in WWE that you can like build phenomenal matches with. You know, you have Edge, you have Seth Rollins, you have Roman Reigns, you have Tommaso Ciampa, you have Johnny Gargano. I mean, the list goes on, but it just feels like you either you don't know how to use them correctly, or you are afraid that these people are going to be bigger than what you want them to be.
Yeah. Because it almost seems like where NXT wants everyone to grow. It's almost like an Attitude Era type feel where they want to give everybody a shot, swing or swim. Yep. Where WWE is like, we want this one specific guy to grow at this specific time. So if anybody comes out of order with, you know, fame and popularity and all that, we got to dumb it down. Like Zack Ryder back in the day, you know? You got to dumb it down.
Yeah, Zack Ryder had a really big following, and then he just started to die down, and they just started putting, you know, little roadblocks in his way. And I know we joked about it before, but like definitely one of those roadblocks was John Cena, you know, because you know, you put a guy like John Cena who's like the face of the company, and then you put him with somebody like Zack Ryder who's trying to get over, And yeah, John Cena tried to help him as much as he can, but come on now, the fans gravitated towards John more than they did Zach, and that kind of
Yeah.
just like lowered his stuff to to the way he wanted it.
No, yeah, for real. And also, the thing is that since he organically became popular through YouTube and outside of the WWE, it's almost like they said, okay, you're popular, but so let's put you in here and let's make you, popular this way. And you never got to see Zack Ryder be him. Like he never once was able to show why he was popular outside of the WWE in his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like, all right, take your popularity and let's do this. It's like, hold up. I'm popular outside, but let me get popular in here first. Because there's a lot of people. I wasn't one of them that watched his YouTube channel, right. But I saw the wave of his popularity grow when he was wrestling. So let him attach to the crowd that doesn't watch his YouTube channel grow. You know what I'm saying? And then you can throw something in there with John Cena. You have two independent talents being who they are. You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right. Because look at how much he's grown now. As an entertainer and as an athlete, the things that he's doing with GCW, the stuff that he did with Impact that he's doing now, and the little run that he did on AEW, like this guy marketed himself to be very popular. Like if he wasn't popular, they wouldn't have 2,000 members in the Major Figure podcast, even though that we all love wrestling figures. Like there has to be a purpose to why we're there. Yes. There has to be a purpose as to why he's getting booked for all these shows. And the things that he's doing now are things that WWE should have let him do, back then. And you see it with a lot of talent that left WWE. Malachi Black is another person who's like thriving in AEW right now. And these are the things that he wanted to do in WWE. Buddy Murphy is another one. He's been throwing out these videos of things that he wanted to do in WWE that he's doing now, and everybody's is drawn to it. And not just because he left WWE or he got fired, it's because he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he was just going over every storyline that he wanted to do, and it just made me want more, and then they just shut it down, and you're like, what the hell?
It's crazy, bro. And the thing is like you said, there has to be a reason for us, to enjoy wrestling. We, as wrestling fans, we're not just gonna run and watch wrestling. If it sucks, it sucks. If a person doesn't get over, he doesn't get over.
Exactly.
So Malachi Black isn't really a different character than he was in WWE.
Nope.
They're just allowing him to be him in AEW.
Exactly. It's not just like the watered down version of what they wanted. Like they're giving him the opportunity. And that's one thing that I have to give it up for Tony Khan. It's just like, he said it numerous times. I know other fans will be like, well, they probably get creative control on things. And he said, no, like I listen to their suggestions and then I try to fit it in as best as I can. And then my vision goes out there.
Yes.
And that's one of the things, like he sees it as like he knows, like, okay, I'm a fan just like everybody else. And I really got to see that over the weekend when I went over there. Like he came out for Rampage, and before Rampage even started, he came out and he said, he thanked the fans for being here. He thanked the people who came out of town to show up. And I thought that was really great. Like, and he stood all the way to the end and came right back out again and just thanked the people even more,
Just so, all right. Was this your first AEW event that you went to?
Yeah. This was like my very first one. I was originally supposed to only go to the one in Queens, the one that we're going to in 2 weeks. Yes. But then I had the opportunity to go to Chicago, so I said, you know what, I got the opportunity. Why not?
Yeah, for real.
Let me go, and let me tell you something. For the first time being in an AEW show, I was entertained the whole entire night, and they were taping AEW Dark for 2 hours, okay, and I was entertained.
That's dope. So, what's the difference between the WWE event and the AEW event?
So normally, I've been to like Raw tapings where they do Raw and they'll tape like superstars beforehand. And to me, I just feel like it really is what they were talking about. It is the crowd that gets you excited. And one of the things that I seen was that they had earlier, which they showed yesterday on Monday, was on AEW Dark, was Sky Blue versus Red Velvet. So normally they only show the entrance for the top talent that comes in. Whoever's a part of, like really a part of AEW, that lower person pretty much will go and come in through the ring with the ref. That's how I seen each talent come in, right? So when the girl came out, the Sky Blue came out with the ref. She first, I think one, she's a Chicago native, so everybody knew who she was, right? Once she came out, that crowd went crazy for her. And they kept on going crazy for her. So, like, mind you, now they're taping this, right? They're not going to drown out the noise. That I don't think so. And through the whole time, you would think that the crowd would go for Red Velvet, and everybody was going for Sky Blue.
Oh, wow. Is that why he put her in the 21?
Yep. That's why she made it to the Casino Battle Royal, because the crowd was just... As soon as the guy, like, they announced her, it was like Sky Blue, and like maybe like 4 people was like Sky Blue. They were chanting her name, and all of a sudden, the whole entire arena started chanting Sky Blue. I'm gonna like just throw this on a limb that they're gonna end up signing her, and you're gonna see a lot more. I mean, obviously, we've seen more of her through the pandemic. She was a part of AEW in Jacksonville, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna end up seeing more of her now going in.
Okay, she did pretty good in the Battle Royal.
Oh yeah, I had to look her up because I really didn't know who she was. And then when I went back to my room, I had looked her up, and I was just like, okay, she's done a couple of AEW elevations and dark matches for AEW, and she's very popular in the Chicago scene. So no wonder that she was so over the weekend. And then, obviously they had like all their other talent come out, like the Acclaimed, you had Dark Order, and these are all like talent that from beginning to end, the crowd was hyped, and then they had Rampage, and everybody got crazy, and everybody wanted to see CM Punk and Chris Jericho. And then right when we think that it was over, Tony Khan comes out and says, hey, we're gonna tape 2 additional matches. And one of these matches was long because it was like a 3-4 finish type match type of thing. It was called 3 Strikes. It was between Dai Conti and Big Swole.
Okay.
So these 2 like have like their big storyline that they're going back and forth with each other, and they closed out the show. And then you had Luchasaurus come out and wrestle as well. So we're already coming close to midnight, and the crowd was still going crazy.
Wow. You don't get that in a event.
No, you wouldn't, because guess what? If it's SmackDown, if you don't have people taping in the beginning, you're not going to have a lot of people. And then by the end, unless it's like a dark match that everybody wants to see, like Roman Reigns versus John Cena or something like that, like they're not going to stick around to watch 205 Live. Like they're just going to leave. But these people in this whole entire arena stood there to watch these 2 matches, and they didn't even know that CM Punk was coming out at the end to say bye.
Damn. That actually feels like a wrestling environment, bro.
Yeah, it was. And then I got to go to the tailgate on Sunday, and that was even something that I haven't experienced in such a long time, since like the time that I went to Mania, where like all the fans came together. Like literally I came in and I felt, you go to like when somebody, like your mom tells you like, hey, we're going to go to this place, but just don't come empty handed, go get something to bring with you.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like I literally was like, I got to go get something. And the guy who was throwing the party, one of the parties that I went to, he was just like, I don't want your money. I just want you to have a good time. We're all wrestling fans, and it's all about the experience. And I was just like, wow, like,
damn.
I haven't felt that way in such a long time, and it felt great. And it just happened to be at an AEW show, like hopefully, when Survivor Series comes to New York, maybe we can get something going as far as like WWE. But but I am praising AEW for their whole entire weekend because they had a phenomenal weekend. But there was some lows though about the weekend that I just was like, okay, I'm not too happy with this.
So what happened, man? Let me know.
All right. So I went to AEW for their bigger events. When they were in Vegas, they did Fan Fest. So they decided to do it again, right, in Chicago. It was 2 days. It was Friday, Saturday. I happened to go to the Saturday event because I said, okay, because they said there was going to be maybe a lot more stuff going on. So I picked the Saturday event. I was not happy with what I seen at the event. So basically, like, it felt like they just stuck you in a room and said, okay, here it is. This is it. They had like a little concession stand to like go get, t-shirts and wrestling toys and stuff like that. And then they had like the talent on like another side of it. And then they put like a chair with some pictures and stuff like that in the middle. Like for $60, it was not worth it. Like you literally, like I thought because it was going to be so much money that I said, okay, they're going to have a lot of stuff, especially that they advertised it. They said we're going to have shows, we're going to have live stuff. And I'm just like, okay, great. $60. Hey, I'm going to get my money's worth. And then they hit you with the fine print afterwards. They're like, hey, if you want to get autographs from certain people, you have to pay extra money. Here's a list of all the people that's going to come that day and their times and how much you need to pay. Oh, by the way, you cannot bring any of your wrestling figures to the event because they will not sign them. And then I wondered why. I'm like, well, why would they do that? Of course, because they're selling all the wrestling figures in the stands that are already signed, and they were going for $100 to $200.
Jesus Christ, for a figure with their signature.
Yes.
Damn. That's crazy. I paid $88 for that picture right there with Hogan. But
now imagine they had a Chris Jericho figure there that was signed for $200. Yeah. That's the same face I made.
Like, and all you're getting is the figure?
That's it.
Like, I can understand if you pay $200 to get in and you got a picture with Jericho, the figure with the signature, and a chance to talk to him for like a minute or something like that. Then I get it. But you're just buying a figure. Like, that's too much for my blood.
Yeah. I was like, I looked around, and I remember I looked around, and I was just like, yo, this is it for $60. This is all I'm getting. And I was like, I like called a friend of mine that I knew he was around the area, and I'm like, yo, where are you? He's telling me, he's like, oh, I'm in line. And I go to him and I was like, yo, this is what $60 is gonna get you. And he was just like, yo, I am so disappointed. I called my wife and I sent her video of the place, and I was just like, this is it. And she was just like, this is all that they gave you. And I was like, yeah. So I have like video here. People who are watching this, they're not gonna have any audio on this. If I can get this thing to. So I literally was just like, this was everything that's there. So the stuff that you see here was everything that they had.
And those pictures were for sale?
Yeah, those pictures were for sale. So you see everybody like crowded around looking for looking at talent, and that was pretty much it for the most part. Like that video was literally like the amount of time that I actually spent. And that was the concession. That whole big space. You see that whole big space there?
Yeah.
That's all that they had. They didn't have anything else. They didn't even fill up the space that they had there. It was just like, okay, well, take what you can. If not, then go F yourself.
Yeah,
thanks for the $60.
Yo, for real. Bye, come again. But imagine they would have had a ring in there. Like, yo, $30. You go in the ring for 2 minutes, run the ropes.
But I thought that they were going to have a ring, and they didn't, because they said that they were going to have live shows. What their show was that they had a stage, and they were telling you about like the AEW game that's coming out later on next year, and some of their mobile games, a lot of the things that they're going to go through as far as like development wise, as far as like, you know, like talent and stuff like that. And that was pretty much it. Like I literally stood there for maybe like 25 minutes, called my wife and I said, hey, I'm going back to my room when I got something to eat, and I just waited for the GCW show later on that night.
Damn. Well, I mean, they had to have made up for it during the pay-per-view. You saw that you was live in the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, so I went to All Out. I went to a suite level where I got to like see everything. And like I said, from beginning to end, this crowd was insane. And you know what was funny about it is like I'm a big wrestling fan, and there was a period in time where like I didn't watch wrestling for a while, so like I kind of missed the whole CM Punk era.
Yeah.
So good thing when we had the WWE Network, I got to like, you know, catch up and see a couple of those things. But to see him live and to see him wrestle and to see him just the way the crowd reacted was, I haven't seen that since Cena returning to Madison Square Garden.
I can see that, yeah.
You know, the crowd ate it up. You know, it was like when the Lucha Bros came out and they had the whole, you know, gimmick and they had the rap going on. Everybody was off their feet, and there was nobody sitting at all unless you was in a wheelchair. Everybody was standing up. Everybody was invested in every single match, even except for the Paul White and QT Marshall. That's when everybody went to the bathroom. Like, yeah. I've never seen people flock that fast to go to the bathroom until they saw fucking QT Marshall come out, and it was like, oh, time to go to the bathroom. I gotta go hurry because those concession stands was like packed.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, yeah, because at one point I went to the bathroom and during the Chris Jericho and MJF match, and there was nobody in the hallways. And that was crazy to me. I was like, normally you would see like people waiting to get food or trying to get T-shirts. Nobody. It was just the workers and maybe like 2 or 3 people.
Damn.
That was it. Everybody sat in those chairs and waited until each match was over and gave them their 100% best.
Yo, but you know what? They deserved it though.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna lie. Sitting at home watching it, that Lucha Brothers entrance had me hyped.
Yep.
I'm sitting in the couch like, hold on, yo, I'm getting hyped. Like, I want to fight somebody right now. Like, I'm getting hyped.
Yeah, I was like, man, and like, you know, obviously, you know, with the Young Bucks, like they know how to put on a match, and they have been going back and forth with the Lucha Bros for months and years through different promotions, and they know how to put on a freaking a tag match, and they did their thing on Sunday.
Yeah, they did. I'm not gonna lie, that has to be one of the best cage matches I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. The women's battle royal was great. I think that WWE should definitely like look into the way that they did this, because it was so short. You know, we have like the women's Royal Rumble where like everybody has to have like this really long entrance, you know. Well, with AEW, like they did it 5 at a time.
Yeah.
But they still gave each girl love. Like they still played like maybe like a snippet of their video of their song while they ran down to the ring, but they did it like 5 at a time, which was great. And it shortened the match. I think the match only lasted maybe like 16 minutes from bell to bell, you know? And obviously everybody was waiting till the end for the Joker card. And, you know, the guy next to me, he was just like, oh, who do you think it is? And I was like, it has to be Ruby Soho. Like, her promos have been, you know, inkling either she's going to come to Queens or she's going to be at All Out. You know, and obviously we got her at All Out, and you can tell like the expression on her face that she was so happy to be there that she probably wanted to cry a little bit. And she did mention that in the media scramble that they had after the pay-per-view, that, you know, she was really emotional, you know, coming out, and she had to like pull herself together and, you know, get in the ring and do her thing. And I know a lot of people was just saying like, oh, but what about Thunder Rosa? You know, like she should have won. Yeah, I feel the same way. I thought maybe Thunder Rosa was going to win this, but man, that matchup between, you know, Ruby and Britt, it's going to be something.
Oh yeah, Thunder Rosa was my pick To be honest with you, in that, yeah. But you know, something to hear that she was so emotional and she had to pull herself together. Like I appreciate that because as excited we are as fans to feel that same emotion from the wrestlers, it's priceless because it's a connection.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and like that's why one of my favorite wrestlers is Sasha Banks because you can feel that when she wrestles. And her and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania when they just stood there and took in the moment, and it was like we were connected. You know, it's like you are a fan and you appreciate why we love you guys in this ring right now. You know, so it's almost like we're being heard.
Exactly. And I think more now, like AEW is starting to listen to more of their fans when they're bringing in more female talent that's going to help elevate their roster, because before, like, AEW's women's roster was like the lowest in the totem pole as far as like any type of competition, you know, in the wrestling business. And that was like going from like WWE, NXT, Impact, NWA, which doesn't really have too many women, to like, okay, now we're talking about AEW.
But the crazy thing is, though, they still got more respect than the Divas did in WWE. They still got their time to wrestle, no matter how the match went.
Yep.
They still told the story, and they did their best to live out the storyline in the ring.
Exactly.
It wasn't a joke to them. You know?
Yeah. And like for me, like you know, looking at the match, like at the end of the night, you know, like you get really tired. And Kenny Omega and Christian Cage match was really good because they kept you upbeat, you know. And then at the end, like you kind of you had Kenny Omega coming out with his promo and saying stuff like, you know, I'm the best in the world and stuff like that. And I legitimately thought it was like, if it wasn't Adam Cole that they came out, I said to myself, like, it has to be CM Punk that's maybe going to come out, you know, later on and like shock the crowd, and maybe we'll have like a CM Punk Kenny Omega feud. But then obviously we got Adam Cole, which this was my, like, people who are watching the show right now, this was my view from where I was sitting when, like, and like this place, I wish I can play the audio, but this place went bananas.
Oh yeah.
Like I only heard the first two lines of the song, and then that was it. You didn't hear anything else.
It was a surprise.
Yeah, because everybody was just going crazy for Adam Cole to come out.
I was expecting Daniel Bryan. I'm not gonna lie. It was like they're taking so long. It was like somebody's coming out. It's gotta be Daniel Bryan. And then
go.
When he popped out, like my brother was half asleep because, you know, he works doubles and all that. So to stay up that late for him sometimes it's hard. So he's like half asleep at this point, and I see him come. I was like, Adam Cole, and he just woke up. He's like, what? Like he looked at the team like, what? It was a surprise, bro. It was a really big surprise to see him come out.
Listen, when he came out, because like from the, you know, when you're looking at it on TV, you don't see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So when you look at it and you see the cameraman pointing up, everybody said someone's coming out, you know, and then everybody who like watches like Being the Elite, they know like the little punchlines and their little like jabs and hint egg, you know, like Easter egg hints that they give. And they were saying that like, oh, when he was just like, you know, either they're retired or they're dead. And then everyone was like, oh my God, he just said that they're dead. He was like, it has to be Adam Cole. And I was like, what? And then sure enough, here comes Adam Cole. And I was just like, holy shit. So
how did he get that?
Yeah, I don't know. So, you know, anybody who's like watching this right now, by all means, go on my Instagram and just check it out. You'll see the full video on there. And then like that crowd just went nuts. You know, everybody's just talking and they're wondering what, you know, and then he ends up joining the Elite, and then, you know, they start beating everybody up again, and he starts talking, and then all of a sudden again you look at the crowd and you look at the cameraman, because I was following the cameraman on that one, and then sure enough, you know, people who are watching this right now, you see Daniel Bryan comes out, and again, let me tell you something. Again, the same way with Adam Cole, the only thing you heard was the beginning part of Daniel Bryan's music. And that's it. The whole entire arena was just chanting yes, yes, yes.
I was surprised that they used that song.
Well, you know, WWE doesn't own the rights to the song.
Oh, okay.
So they could use a little bit of it, which was great because I kind of felt like, okay, like you use a snippet of the song. They didn't use the whole thing. So they kind of give them an upbeat, you know, tone to it and stuff like that, which was great.
It's definitely a better song.
We got Ashley, the super fan, in the house right now. She's saying, "Hey guys, how are you?" I said, "I'm great, Ashley. How are you? Thank you for stopping by and checking out the show." But yeah, I was like, man, and I felt like the guy that I had on last week, Frank, when he was talking about, you know, how he was with CM Punk. Like, to see Daniel Bryan, like I was really hyped to see Adam Cole, but when Daniel Bryan came out, I'm not gonna lie, and people probably gonna hear this later on and be like, he cried. I didn't cry, but I had a tear in my eye.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like it was more of a tear of like excitement, you know. And I haven't felt that way in like such a long time, you know, since, oh my god, like maybe since the Undertaker coming back at a pay-per-view, you know, that I was just like, you know, like, oh my god, he's here. You know, when Roman Reigns came back, I was happy to see him come back, but I wasn't that excited like the way I was on Sunday to see like Daniel Bryan show up.
Or kind of like when Sting made his return to Survivor Series.
Exactly.
That was like almost inspirational.
Exactly.
Like, the guy you had last time on your show with the CM Punk, I wasn't like that. But the only time I was ever that emotional was when Kofi Kingston won the title at WrestleMania. To see Kofi Kingston win the title at WrestleMania, it's like, I remember his debut match. You know, like when he first came in and they were doing the vignettes and he was the Jamaican guy. Him winning the title, it was one of those. It was like, one of us made it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel him, and I can imagine Adam Cole did such wonderful things in NXT.
Exactly.
And to see him now here, it's almost like, do we get an unleashed version of Adam Cole? Because like, what does that look like? Because he was phenomenal in NXT.
Anybody who's seen Adam Cole in New Japan and in ROH is going to get the same feel that they have now with Adam Cole in AEW. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do tonight or what he's going to say, because he is one of the best guys on the microphone. He can go. He's going to entertain you, you know. So I can't wait to see what he's going to bring to the table. Even Tyson says, he says, with the tears in my eye, this was the greatest moment in my life. And I have to say, like, I was that guy where I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh my God. And then I even like talking to my wife about it later on when I came home and I was telling her about it. Like, I was like a little kid on Christmas, like showing off my gifts, like, oh my God, you gotta, you know, and it was great. You know, even and I have to agree with Ashley when she says, like, you know, Adam Cole was awesome in WWE, and you know, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him too, because he had some phenomenal matches in NXT, and I was really hoping to see what he could do in the main roster on, like, say, Raw or SmackDown. You know, against like a Sami Zayn, a Roman Reigns,
Ricochet.
Against the Miz, the Ricochet. I mean, we've seen him and Ricochet go at it in NXT, but yeah, I just wanted to see what he was going to do on the main roster and how well like that WWE universe was going to you know, show him that love. But no, I mean, things happen. We get to still see him wrestle, so can't complain on that one.
It almost seems like he lucked out, because if anything, NXT is the closest he's gonna get to WWE being like an independent level type wrestler. So he thrived in that, and he did his thing in NXT. But I'm almost scared to imagine how he would have been in the main roster.
Yeah, they would have watered him down a lot.
He's not AJ Styles level, you know what I'm saying? Because AJ Styles skipped NXT and he had no choice but to be a main guy in the WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like how big he was and his name. And I'm not saying Adam Cole isn't as big as AJ Styles, but AJ Styles made his mark for many years, and he had no choice. I can see them ruining Adam Cole after like a month or two. Turning him into like a Sami Zayn type back of the pack whenever we need somebody to come out and get punched by Logan Paul type shit.
Exactly, and that's what's happening now with Kevin Owens. He has that angle with Logan Paul or Paul, whoever, which one of the Paul brothers at this point, because I just don't really follow like which one is which and who wants to come on TV and make some type of money off of WWE. But you look at it with the angles that they're having Kevin Owens in, like it's only a matter of time before he ends up leaving too. Because guess what, his friends are in AEW.
So did you hear the conspiracy about his tweets and stuff?
Oh, when he was doing he did the coordinates from Mount Rushmore, which is the thing that he did with the Young Bucks. Yeah. I mean,
also he changed his location to almost there. So he's a smart dude when it comes. I would have never figured that out.
He's going to keep throwing little Easter egg hints every month leading into January, because it's sometime in January where his contract is going to be up, and a lot of people are saying that he's not going to renew come January. He's just going to end up leaving. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely will miss Kevin Owens if he leaves WWE and goes on to AEW, but then you can't really miss him too much because then we'll get to see him every Wednesday, Friday, maybe Mondays and Tuesdays as well.
Yeah, true. The only bright side for these guys going to AEW, besides them being able to reach their full capacity, is this would force the WWE to change, kind of like WCW did with Nitro.
Mm-hmm. Now, you would think that WWE will change a lot, being that a lot of these people are not re-signing, and they're kind of wondering, like, what is going to happen to like the rest of their roster. So Ashley says, she's like, I have a question. Do you guys acknowledge the tribal chief? Of course we acknowledge the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He's the best thing right now that's going on in WWE. Like, besides, like, for me, maybe a little bit of the Alexa Bliss character, Roman Reigns right now is saving WWE. And even with exactly, even when they had John Cena there, what I mean, that proved to me when he was toe to toe with John Cena that he can go, and he was the guy.
Oh yeah, and they need something on Raw.
They do. Raw is so unwatchable right now that it's not even funny. Like, me and you spoke the other day, and I said, hey. He was just like, hey, did you watch Raw? And I said, to be honest with you, I saw the first 20 minutes of them talking, and I fell asleep. Yeah. And normally I would try and keep myself up to watch it, and I couldn't. And I was kind of just watched the highlights the next day in the morning, and I was just like, okay, I didn't miss much.
Yeah, you don't really miss much on Raw. And even this Monday, I felt like it was just the tag team tournament match for all 3 hours.
Yeah, that's what it was. They just hyped up the tag team, and and what was crazy, because you said, like, what is it going to take for WWE to, like, actually step up and do something? Is that something was like just bugging my mind as far as like listening to like AEW fans and WWE fans, and then I came up and I said, you know what, a lot of the WWE fans who are frustrated is right. We're not getting the promise that we got back in 2018 from Vince McMahon and everyone else when they said that, they were going to shift the power to the WWE universe, that they were going to give them the matches that they wanted. They were going to get the character developments that they wanted. And you're not seeing that now.
Yeah. No more rematches. No more commercials during the wrestling matches. I feel like Raw is 17 minutes of wrestling and 2 hours and 43 minutes of commercials.
Yep. And what's crazy about it is I'm looking at a quote here that Vince McMahon said to close out the show, if I could find it here. So he says, Vince McMahon says, as long as we give you less of what you don't want and more of what you do, WWE will always be then, now, and forever. I don't see that happening, because you're not giving us what we want. You're giving us more of what we don't want. and everybody who we love is leaving.
Yeah. You know what it is? I think they're catering towards not the wrestling fan, the WWE fan. If that makes sense. Because there's a difference. You know, like Ashley said she loves the WWE. She's a super fan. I love the WWE also. You know, and until AEW, I've dipped and dabbed in New Japan and stuff. I wasn't like an avid watcher of them. I knew a little bit here and there from whatever I looked up. You know what I'm saying? But I was always WWE. Even during the Monday Night Wars, I would watch WCW, but I was a WWE guy.
Right.
You know, and so when you watch WWE, it's like, yo, this isn't wrestling. This isn't what I grew up on with the Attitude Era or the era or the Ruthless Aggression era or any of that stuff. It changed completely. Exactly. And it's almost like the new fans we have that don't know nothing about wrestling, those are the ones we want.
Exactly. Because they can show them a product that they're working on in order to get what they want, you know. And unfortunately, you know, what WWE is not going to change, because throughout the pandemic, they made more money than they were making when they had fans in the audience.
Oh yeah.
So why change it? They're like, hey, you know, yeah, we hear you crying, but we're making money. And like I told a fan over the weekend, I said, WWE is not going to change until they start losing money. The minute they start to lose money is the minute they're going to start changing. And they're going to say to themselves, like, okay, you know what? Maybe we need to listen to the fans a whole lot more, rather than just do what we want type of thing, because we're WWE.
But you know what the crazy thing is? It's like, in my opinion, I don't think they get better by listening to the fans. I think they get better by listening to their talent.
Yeah.
You know, because like me and you have opinions on what we see with wrestling, and it's like, you know, the matches don't make sense, the storylines don't make sense. It's like, all right, we're gonna try to make something that makes sense. But the problem is the people that are writing the stories are not wrestling fans, and they're not writing for wrestling. They're writing for a week to week basis. So the story this week is if Cedric Alexander beats Jeff Hardy retires. The story next week is if Jeff Hardy beats Cedric Alexander, he has to wear a dress. It's like, hold up, that's not the stories we want. But the characters know who they are and what they want to grow and express to be.
Exactly.
So we can, listen to those people. They know where they're going. They know what they want to do. We're just telling you what we don't like to see.
Exactly.
You know, and that's I hate when they were like, oh, look at these smart marks. No smart marks. Like, you're showing me you don't give a shit. So when I tell you what you show me, you can't get mad at that.
Exactly.
You know, it's like AEW, it did like have a sign up and they're screaming with a megaphone. We give a shit about wrestling.
Exactly. And they're gonna continue striving. They're going to continue killing it every single week and continue to build every single month.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to start closing out the show here. I want to just answer a couple of things and just do some quick little notations here. So I'm going to go with Ashley once again. She's been a really big person vocally here tonight.
Appreciate
you. So Ashley, we love you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. So she had a question. She said, did you guys ever meet the New Day? They're her number one favorite tag team. So here's a little story, and Ashley's probably going to hit me up later on, and she's going to be like, oh my God, I need to see more. Because she is brand new to the channel. Yes. So the New Day is one of my favorite tag teams in WWE. I did get to meet them at WrestleMania Access. I actually know the person who designs their gear and makes it. And I own pieces of the New Day ring gear, which if you want to, you can go on my page. You can go on the Call Up podcast page and look through the posts. I posted them there.
And don't forget you did an interview with him.
Yeah. No, I didn't do no interviews with them. Not yet.
No, not New Day. The guy who did their
Darren. Darren.
Yeah,
I've done
check
interviews.
That video out also.
I've done videos with. I've done interviews with both people who design and create the New Day gear itself. Are you guys? And then we have another one here from Victor answering some questions here. Oh, okay. What's going on, Victor? Thank you for stopping by. He says, are you guys worried about the NXT rebrand? You know what? I am worried because I'm kind of wondering exactly what are we going to see next week? Because I'm so used to the black and gold brand. I saw like a drawing that they did of the new arena that they had built, and not for nothing, like the front part of it looks a little bit like AEW's, except they just don't have those two entrances for like the heels and the faces. So I'm kind of wondering like what exactly are they going to do with that?
Yeah, I just hope it's not one of those. Look, we changed the logo and the entrance. Everything else is the same. Okay. You come out with a new shirt. All right.
So congratulations is definitely in order for Kenny Omega. He made the number one best wrestler in the world list for PWI top 500. And last year he was at number 13. Jon Moxley had taken over the number one spot from him before. And this is his second time making the number one spot for PWI. PWI, for people who don't know, those are one of the top pro wrestling illustrators magazines that a lot of people they want to be a part of, and to get this honor of being number one is something really big, because it shows like people are watching and seeing like your dedication and hard work in the wrestling business.
That's dope. Congratulations to Kenny Omega.
Yes, definitely. And then in other news too, your boy Lay, his number one favorite superstar, The Miz.
Oh yes.
He's going to be a part of Dancing with the Stars, which my wife had told me about, because I do watch Dancing with the Stars here and there, depending on who's there. And she had told me, she was like, "Hey, did you know the Miz is going to be a part of Dancing with the Stars?" And then I saw it this morning that it came up saying that he was going to be a part of the new season of Dancing with the Stars, which should be pretty interesting because of the way his character is, in the ring. So.
I like The Miz.
No, I like The Miz too. Yeah. The Miz is very entertaining. I love The Miz and Mrs. Him and Maurice, they know how to entertain a crowd.
Oh yeah.
But man, listen, like Toe, thanks for stopping in and being a guest with me and talking a little bit of wrestling and hearing about my weekend. Please plug in all the stuff that people can see you in throughout the whole entire week, because you're just like wrestling.
Oh yeah,
you're on every single night.
Almost on every single. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we the Nukkle Hedds Podcast. We do comic books on Tuesday. Tonight at 9:00, we're gonna do the movie review for Shang-Chi. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I have not seen that yet.
We're going to designate a spot for spoilers just in case if people don't want to get spoiled. Don't worry about that. And tomorrow we're going to do our wrestling podcast, which I have my boy Matt Awesome. He's a up-and-coming wrestler in the indie circuits. He's going to be on tomorrow night, so we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I know Matt. I actually hit him up a couple of times. He hit me up. I need to get him on the show. I'm still trying to work out some details, because I want him to come on here on a Wednesday to interact with everybody else, like Ashley and Victor and Carlos and everybody else who comes on here and says hi and listens to me talk for like an hour.
Hey man, you got a nice voice. You sound like Isaac Hayes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say nothing, but it's true.
I try. I try. I try to do that deep voice for like an hour, and then it's just like, all right, I gotta stop.
Nah, hey, then you got your cup of honey that you do to soothe the throat.
Exactly.
Get the halls and shit.
Oh man, guys, thank you for checking out another edition of the Call Up Podcast. Please, by all means, if you are a wrestling figure collector, hit up Ringside Collectibles. Use the promo code The Call Up to save 10%. If you are in the line for energy drinks, Ray's Energy Drinks is like one of the number one energy drinks that you could possibly think of. They come in all delicious flavors. Use the code word Run in 10 to save 10% off on that one as well. What else do I need to plug in? Check me out over at the Fake Cave over on Facebook, which a lot of people are probably watching this now. Tyson is still in the building checking out. He said he had a great time. Tyson, thank you so much. He's been a loyal listener since day one. He always reposts like every single episode that I've done.
Nice.
If it wasn't for people like him and you and everybody else like supporting me, I wouldn't, get to the levels that I'm reaching now. For people who don't know, I made the top 90 wrestling podcast list. I continue to climb on that. When I first started off, I was number 18. Then I went to 15, and now I'm currently sitting at number 13. There's only a time before I reach top 10, and I'm gonna get there. More interviews to come as the weeks go on, but we're gonna continue to keep doing these live streams every Wednesday at 7:00. Guys, until next time, take care.
Peace.